We're Mushroomies. We're all here.
The gang's all here.
Welcome to episode 2. Podcast 2. Michela just got back today, hours ago. And we're super eager, so we're here and ready to spread the love.
Yeah.
Mushroomies love.
We are your hosts.
We are your hosts.
Kristen. I'm Danielle.
I'm Michela.
And yeah, shall we do check-ins?
Yeah, let's do check-ins. How are we feeling this evening? Danielle? Oh, my freaking headphones. Getting caught up.
I'm feeling really good that you're back.
Me too.
Yeah, it's been a really long week. I've honestly gone through a lot this week, just in terms of just some really deep realizations that I've had. So it's been a lot of processing, but it's been good. It hasn't been like too heavy or intense. Yeah. It's been very enlightening, but it definitely doesn't like feel the same in the house without all three of us here, honestly. So yeah, I'm just very happy that you're here and really excited for us to record together. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Kristen, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good overall. I'm starting my luteal phase of my cycle, which we'll get into later. Yeah. So I'm feeling like mushy and starting to feel mushy and cozy. So I'm also really glad that you're here because it feels nice to have us all together, and I'm super excited that we're recording.
Yeah,
it feels right. What about you? How does it feel to be doing this right now, literally like an hour after you get home from your adventure?
I will admit I'm a bit tired.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was looking forward to coming home to do this. Like right when Danielle texted me earlier and was like, yeah, we're going to record. I was like, all right, I got to come home.
Yay! Yay!
Aww.
Yeah, that was honestly.
That was a big motivator? That's nice.
Yeah, that was definitely the motivator. But yeah, I'm a bit tired from the travels from North Carolina. Driving like 12 hours in a day alone is definitely exhausting. But overall, I feel refreshed to be back home. I'm excited to get back in my routine of things and just get back in my groove, because being gone for a week definitely takes away from your routine. So I'm excited to get grounded this week.
So I wrote down a question that I really wanted to ask in regards to your trip. And yeah, like you're reading it right now, but did you get what you were like searching for or seeking in this trip? Like it was a super last minute trip.
Yeah.
You just like, a bunch of things happened and then you just sent it.
Yeah.
But I'm just really curious if like, I know you haven't had much time to process because you literally just got home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like curious how the question feels. And
so prior to leaving the trip, I was just wanting to seek solitude, be in nature, be alone, and soak in the last few months, because they have been just challenging. But so my intention going there was to open my heart and just like soak in all of the beauty that life has to offer. And I think when things are super chaotic and it's like one thing after another, it's kind of hard to see that beauty in life. So going there, I just wanted to like feel like the awe and like the wonder of life and like all of the experiences and the beautiful connections that you can share along the way. And yeah, I definitely feel like I got what I was seeking for, which felt amazing. Just being in my own energy, waking up to the creek every morning and meeting such beautiful people at the commune that I was staying at. It all felt so aligned right when I got there. And yeah, it was overall just such a beautiful trip, and I'm really grateful that I did it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Yeah. I was really hoping that, because I honestly, it wasn't very clear to me that, like, why you were going. Like, I knew it was just like, I need to be in nature. But yeah, I think in both of us, like, how we're just talking about it, it's like, what is it that like Michela's going up there for?
Yeah, you know? Yeah. And yeah, no, it's funny because my parents and like other friends were like, why are you going to North Carolina? Like, why? What's going on? And yeah, I just wanted to get away from the chaos and the external noise and just retreat inward. And it's hard to do that, like in civilization, where you have to go to work and you're around a bunch of people. And yeah, I just wanted to go to reconnect with myself, I would say, is like the main thing, because I've been not feeling super connected to myself. So yeah, going there, I was like, I just want to connect with nature, connect with the forest, connect with the water, connect with me. Like, how do I feel after these last few months, you know? Like, basically, like, assessing myself, you know? Because I haven't been able to assess myself. Because, yeah, I mean, getting fired from, like, multiple different jobs and, you know, trying to figure out the ebb and flow of life, it gets heavy. So just, it felt right to be alone and just like soak everything in that these last few months and all the change and transformation that I've experienced. I felt like I was able to truly be like, okay, like this is what just went down, you know, and like process it a lot differently than I would have in St. Pete.
There's a lot of distractions where you know and live, so being somewhere different alone, I can imagine, would be helpful to process that.
Totally.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, why, like, what makes it easier to process in solitude? And like, I mean, like, your question answered that. It's just, we're constantly bombarded by all these distractions and constant like inspiration and ideas and conversations and socializing, and
Especially, you know, us three.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're our worst distractions, but our best motivators.
Totally.
Yeah, that's literally what brought us here.
Literally, but yeah. So can I keep asking questions?
100%.
Okay, so how are you like feeling about everything, and how are you feeling about yourself?
Yeah. So honestly, it's funny that like my intention, like going into the trip, was to open my heart, because as soon as like I got there, I felt like a lot of resistance. Like my first day or two there, I felt like really closed, and just like intense feelings were kind of coming up my first few days there. So then as the trip went on, and I just had more alone time, and I was like soaking everything in that was coming up, I felt like my heart was opening more and more each day. And I think through feeling what's coming up and what you're experiencing is the only way to open your heart. Yeah, and it was, I had that realization. I was like sitting at the top of a mountain. I just
so romantic.
Yeah, no. So I was staying at a farm. There were freaking goats and cows, and the chickens were, what are those noises that they make like in the morning?
cooing. I really don't know. I don't know what chickens do. They don't chirp. They
cock-a-doodle-doo, right?
I mean that's what like.
What is the word
farm
though?
I don't know. I swear there's a word.
They're I don't know, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
It'll be like mid one day.
Unimportant. The chickens were making their noises.
Yeah, where was I going with that? What did you...
Oh,
Being able to like wake up to
opening my heart.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to feel. You just have to feel.
Yeah. So after I like opened my eyes from a meditation, you know, like right when you open your eyes, you're just like so blissed out and just like in awe of like everything that you're looking at. And I just like opened my eyes and just saw the mountains and like heard the chickens making those noises or whatever. And I just had this like realization. I was like, the only way to truly open your heart is to fully dive into what you're experiencing. And my way
Fully
of
just feel it all.
yeah. And so by being alone, being in solitude and doing that trip, I feel like those first few days were a little bit difficult because I was like actually like dealing with what the fuck was coming up, you know? And then I just had this realization that the only way to like open your heart and the only way through is to open your heart and surrender. And it was just like such a I knew that, but just like in that moment I was like I feel it. Like
There's just feeling it.
Yeah, there's such a difference between like, oh, like knowing something, like it sits in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, just like surrender, open your heart. But then like really embodying it and being like, oh, like I feel this
My mic went off.
in my body. It did.
But that is a really beautiful realization. Back to that, because there is such a thing, and it happens to me all the time, where it's just like, like I knew this, or it's like such a simple principle or idea that you, or even like a silly quote that you hear, but when you actually like feel it, and you feel, and it's like you feel it, but you'll feel it at all these different depths.
It's the action.
And like you'll feel it in your bones,
Right.
like and we're just like, just like that sinking in of just like, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So that is beautiful. And I had an interesting realization this week about the heart opening. I haven't told you about this yet, but I started this like feminine embodiment, like 14-day like course essentially. And so I've just been learning a lot about just opening the heart, because the heart is a feminine like energy center. And I've realized, even with all these things that I'm doing where I'm just like, my heart is open, like my heart is so open. I've realized like to like my parents and particularly like my parents, my heart has been very closed, even with how much like I've been, you know, how close I've been with them over the last few years, and just everything that I've gone through with them. I just realized, because, you know, they'll reach out to me to ask for something, or like my mom will just be like, hey, can you send a picture of like you wearing this jewelry that I made? I need to like show it to someone. I was getting just so annoyed and so angry. I'm just like it was the most simple request, and I was just like, like just so frustrated. And I've just been realizing how calcified I've basically made my heart to them, because even with all the love and support and all this that they've given me, I definitely have experienced a lot of like pain and trauma, you know, from their behavior. And it's such a reaction, it's such like a protection thing to just like close your heart so that you don't have to feel like what you're saying, exactly what you did. You were just like, I am just gonna go ahead and feel everything, because I want this open. I need to feel everything so that I can actually process it. And that's where I was realizing like I wasn't allowing myself to feel all this like anger and resentment and or just feeling like the anger and the hurt, and I didn't want to feel that, so I just closed my heart off to them. But when I do that, then I just get annoyed and don't even want to interact with them.
It really just hurts you.
Yeah. So I was able to do some like physical embodiment practices that helped like just really open that up too. So that felt really good. But yeah, so that was a good realization this week too.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
You hung out with your parents today and you said you had a good time. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you were able to open your heart just even in the slightest bit towards them today?
Oh, for sure. You know, I didn't actually, and I wish I did, go in with the intention and even doing like the physical practice before seeing them. Mm-hmm. But I was kind of in like a little bit of a rush and my head was in a different place. But when I saw them, I was really happy to see them. And I was honestly just like, because...
Do you think it happened naturally since your realization?
Well, with everything that happened with your friend recently, I haven't told you about this. But I ended up, I don't know if we want to get into this, but I did a yoga practice yesterday, and during my, I don't know, I think a lot of things moved and just like things were happening. And during my Shavasana, I just started like weeping. And that's like never happened before. And I just felt that I was like really tuning in to just a lot of the pain around that experience for everybody else. But then also like my life, a lot of my family members experience like really severe mental illness. And so just a lot of that pain and like just just a lot of those things have been very close to me. So there's been a lot of wounds that I haven't tended to around that. So I was feeling a lot into that. And then I just felt this level of just like, oh my God, I am so happy that my family is like around, and just
gratitude.
Yeah. And just being really thankful that they're all still here. And so I was definitely going into today with that feeling of just like, oh, I'm just so grateful to have them in my life right now, because I have been like, just a lot of the resentment has been around. And when I was hugging my mom, towards like the end of us all like hanging out, like I haven't embraced her like that in just a really, really, really long time, where it was just this deep, like, I just felt this, my heart, I felt just this pouring in, because she has so much love to give. And it's just like, when you open your heart, it's just like, it's open to receive. Yeah. So it's just like,
I felt that with my mom before. So
you know, we're just like, oh, because I feel when it's like hard and I don't want to accept it. And I'm just like, ugh, where you're literally pushing, you're like, you're rejecting it. But it was literally, it was just the sweetest. Yeah. And then even hugging my dad too, the hugs felt like richer, like they felt, just so much more potent. So yeah, I think that was a lot of the practice, and then just a lot of the just events that have, transpired over the last week that just really got me to be like, fuck, I really need to show my love to them.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that both of us had some realizations
about
opening the heart, and that you're doing that feminine embodiment course.
Yeah, the synchronicities.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's a realization that you've had this week?
Oh, just one? I would say my biggest one had to do with the word trust and the concept of trust. I had a lot of, I guess, triggers, mirrors, frustrations that I was feeling, and I was confused on what and why they were coming up. And for some reason, the word trust kept coming into my mind. And Danielle and I had a bunch of conversations, and trust was a theme. And I also have, I don't know if I told you about this one specifically, Michela, but I have these bracelets for my yoga teacher training that I tied on while I was there months ago. And this last one that's on, it has to do with trust. So I've been trying to embody that specifically because it's been coming up, but mainly just questioning how I trust myself in certain situations. And since I've had that realization of basically what it was is how you trust other people is how you trust yourself. So I've been diving into how I trust myself in very normal everyday situations. So do I trust myself to get up and do my morning routine? Do I trust myself to do this? And when I let myself down, or I say yes and I really couldn't have trusted myself, kind of feeds into everything else I'm doing and how I trust the rest of the people I'm interacting with for the rest of the day. So yeah, it's just been a lot of practice on that, which is big for me because growing up, I didn't feel like I could trust a lot of people, and I also did not feel like they could trust me. So I want to be trustworthy. That is a way I want to be able to describe myself, and I want other people to be able to describe me in that way. So I'm, working on that. But that's what trust is like the big one for my realizations. So,
yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also brought up a lot of emotions and pain, and I've felt the heart opening, the necessity of the heart opening with you guys, even though that wasn't quite the realization it's involved.
It all ties back with each other.
Right. Just
It's all intertwined.
the trust is the openness.
Like the mushroom.
Yeah.
Like the mushroom.
We're all connected.
Yeah,
but I don't know particularly where trust lies within the chakra system. Does anyone know? Is that sacral or
it's
heart?
sacral
I feel like
or
it's sacral.
or root.
Yeah, it has something to do with like your security and safety.
Safety.
Yeah, and all your lower chakras are like when you're developing, like when you're like a little baby.
Yeah, and my solar plexus
know that.
is my chakra that seems least activated or least charged, however you say that. And I think that it has to do with my trust. So it feels really good to be.
Interesting.
That's why it was such a realization for me, because it runs very deep. And it was one of the first times I actually felt it in my life and actually allowed myself to feel it. So it just felt rich and deep and very, very present in my face. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
So I'm just like writing down notes for like reflection questions like later to just like double back on of like which chakra is does trust fall under. Yeah, because that would be nice to follow up on. But you touched on lineage trauma and solar plexus. So we're 23 minutes in, but I think maybe we'll talk about like some lineage trauma, because I had a realization around like that, and I feel like you may have had some realizations about like your lineage and trauma and your dad and like some extent, because I also have had that too.
Ooh,
So
I
I feel like we could like just like weave that back this way too.
Absolutely.
And then we can wrap it up after that.
Beautiful.
Okay, cool. So to the point of the solar plexus and like lineage trauma there, is there anything that you can share with that, or that you feel comfortable sharing, or just anything that comes up with that?
Yeah, so my solar plexus trauma, I think, stems from way back in my lineage. But I think for me, a lot of it stems in the way my parents trusted me, and that's how I trusted myself in turn when I was little. And a lot of it was, I'm the parent, you're the child. You'll do as I say, and if I asked why, it was because I told you so. And you and I have talked about that.
Yeah.
The I told you so specifically. And I'm mentioning this because I feel like a lot of people can relate to parents belittling them while they were younger and not giving them the full spectrum of what's going on because they think they can't handle it as kids, when in reality,
you're better off sharing. Killing that curiosity in children is so bad.
It's so bad for them, and it shuts them down, and it allows them to not trust themselves, and it causes more struggle.
Right, because your intuition is like, wait, but why? Like, what's happening? Like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't make sense. And then you're being told, like, no, like it's just the way that but then you end up getting hurt.
Yeah.
Or you experience pain. You're like, but you told me it was going to be okay.
And then in the real world, when that happens, and you're like, nobody can tell me I told you so except for myself, and I'm like, damn, that doesn't that doesn't feel good. Let me actually give myself a reason and know with everything I have why this is what I'm doing or what I'm saying, and trusting that. So
well, yeah, but back to with the lineage trauma, I remember you mentioning something with your grandma.
Oh,
that is more of what I was alluding to.
Right. So
but I don't know if there's a lot there or what.
Mainly
with the stomach, and I know you mentioned some things with the solar plexus and your grandma, so I thought it was interesting.
Right. Yeah. So my grandma on my dad's side taps a little bit into yoga and qigong and the chakras and things like that. So her and I can talk about this, which is absolutely incredible, because yeah, that generation is questionable sometimes. But she and I both have had a lot of trauma with my dad, which is why this is also interesting. And her ex-husband, my grandpa, and just being belittled. And she is a small lady who struggles with saying what she wants because she loves people pleasing and doing things for others. And it hurts her. And she has told me she's grown up with stomach issues. And she always has had that. And when she did a reading one time and was looking into her chakras, she had a solar plexus depletion, or it just was blockage, the lowest blockage. Yeah, it was the lowest vibration of the chakras, and she really resonated with that. So I was talking with her the other morning, a few weeks ago, and I was able to tell her how I've been realizing that a lot of my own personal stomach issues and nerves and just ungroundedness in life stems in my stomach, I feel. That's usually where I get sick and how I get sick. So I feel like it's very strongly related to the solar plexus. And I had the realization while talking with her that it's familial, like it's trauma, it's generational. It's something that has been in my family for a long time. And I can feel it every time my stomach hurts. Like I know it's not just me, because half of the time I don't even know why it's hurting. That's how I've gotten into this health journey. My period, my diets, like everything that I've done has been based around my stomach, which I'm now just realizing, like saying it out loud,
that's been like the root of
why I've tried all of these different health modalities, like different ways to feel good, because it stems from this deep lineage of pain held in this spot. And I want to work on that so hard. So
working hard.
That's why I'm here. I want to work on that so hard.
Yeah, I feel like you've been dying.
For my grandma, for me, you know, for
the future generations.
Yeah. So
we got to break it.
That's where it lies in my family, in my lineage. So many other traumas, but that's the one that we'll talk about today.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Of course. So some of the things that came up in terms of lineage trauma for me this week stemmed around what I had discovered. I mean, the love addiction, I think, came a little bit after, but it kind of like comes from that. But just this like idea that, and this feeling of just rejection and this feeling of not being chosen, and how that has just caused me, because this is something that is very pertinent to both of my parents' trauma when they were kids, of this idea of just like not being wanted and not being chosen, and just being completely abandoned, like abandonment, and those are just very deeply rooted in both my parents' childhood development, and still to this day impact them severely. And I realized that this past week, like just so much of my people pleasing, so much of my desire to be in partnership and to be like wanted by like potential partners or just like men, and just stems so much, and like me basically like filling this box or this form of who I think that will be liked or will be chosen. And I mean, that's been, I guess, like my whole journey over the last, I mean, honestly, just this past year of really figuring out like, who the fuck I am, and just being so tired of neglecting that authentic version of myself just so I can be wanted and just so I can be chosen by like specific friends or in the workplace or by romantic partners. And just, yeah, all from this place of just like wanting, just like dying to be chosen. I'm just like, please just like take me, like just like pick me. And I've definitely been like a pick me girl back in the day. Like 100%. I was just like, I'm the cool chick, I'm the chill chick, like you can make fun of me.
Dan.
Like you can,
we call her
Dan.
Dan.
Yeah,
The
R.I.P. R.I.P. Dan. Yeah.
We call her Dan. Is that what she said?
That's exactly where
Dan
my
was
mind
the
went.
pick me.
Dan.
Yeah, 100%.
She's
And,
now
like,
Danielle.
yeah, but no longer. Yeah, but and I
Still
feel
loved
like
Dan. She was a
Dan was a
fun
good time. Dan was a good time.
Dan was a
But-
party.
Pick Me Girl was really fun.
Yeah, pick me girls can be fun. You know?
I didn't know Dan.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Not really.
Kristen
yeah,
did.
yeah,
A little bit. Yeah. I was also Kristen 1.0.
But,
I don't know
yeah,
if it's
you might
the
be
same
like
name.
Kristen like 4 or 5.0 at this point. My God. But I feel like it was a little bit more like just like my realization was a little bit more profound. But I mean, all in all, I just realized like, okay, there needs to be something in terms of just me being able to validate myself instead of constantly seeking that in these partnerships, or just like using my relationship with God to be validating for me, of just being like, well, you know, I feel like I'm chosen, like spirit chose me. Like every day that I get to wake up, I'm being like, yeah, you get to live another day, you know, I don't know. And so I'm just trying to seek ways of just continuing to validate myself and not feel like I need to be like validated by a partner. I just feel like I need to be chosen by a partner or a community or like group of people to feel special. I don't know. Or yeah. So it's definitely something I'm still sorting, but it is definitely like a lineage thing that I'm like, oh yeah, that's in my body. And and I'm like seeking to try to like soothe this wound somehow. So I think at least step one is like awareness and acknowledging that. And then, you know, more things will come from that. But I just really it just came up for me this last week where it's like, oh yeah, my mom's like biggest wound is like no one wanting her as a child.
Yeah. And you also shared that that when we talked on the phone earlier about using love as a distraction.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I can touch on that. Well, that was literally last night that I came to this idea. Shout out Lulu. That basically whenever we're on this like path, are you okay?
Yeah. Okay.
When we're on this path, on just trying to accomplish our goals, trying to accomplish our dreams, and we have a lot to bring into this world. Our subconscious, our mind, our ego, the classic like self-saboteur that is within us will place, or just like the universal energy, like whatever you want to call it, will place these like distractions in your life and offer you like, and every time like you're on this like straight and narrow, like, oh yeah, like we're trekking up the mountain, like we're getting to these goals, like we're hammering down, like I'm getting closer, the momentum is there, the forward momentum is moving, and this distraction will just pop up, and then you'll literally just fall victim to your distractions and to your addictions, whether that be, you know, if you smoke a lot, so then that means that like, oh, you're just like you're just chilling constantly and you're not actually, you know, going for what you want, or you're constantly drinking or going out and partying, or you're constantly traveling. Like that's something that Lulu was sharing. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be sharing her story, but yeah, just like people's different addictions, and mine, I realize, is love and is like partnership, and I've blamed it on my like astrology and
Nice.
What's your Venus in?
Aries, but like it's my sun. I'm just like, oh, Pisces just like always is crushing, but it's just like No, I'm not. I don't want to, like, I'm not going to fall victim to, like, my astrological chart. But it was always an excuse, like, oh, classic me, like, just always crushing on someone, always loving on someone.
So watery.
Yeah, but, like, literally since the age of 12, I've had boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend. And if I didn't have a boyfriend, I was crushing or hooking up with someone. Like, that's just how it's been. And I'm 26 now. So what is that? 14 years? Yeah. I'm not very good at mental math. But yeah, 14 years of that. And so it's just been this constant pattern of just like, okay, well, let me just, and that's where the validation comes through, where it's just like, I constantly need like that romantic partner to just like keep telling me that I'm doing a good job or that I'm worthy of all of this potential or, you know, instead of me just telling myself like, no, like you are worthy of all these things that you want, all of your desires in terms of like the successes, the goals, the dreams, the property, like just all of these things that you want, like you can get. So stop distracting yourself, like stop using, like there's so much energy and love that I want and time that I want to pour into a partnership. And I've been telling you guys constantly, we're just like, oh, I just really want a companion. Like I'm so ready for love. Like, and it's just been this constant, just like dating people and trying to find that person. And it's just not in the cards for me right now. So I think I just really need to pump a brake or pump my brakes on this idea that I need to find someone, and realizing the addiction and realizing how much I've just been codependent on romantic partners. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna definitely break the chains of that addiction. And
and it seems like you've come to like a place of like acceptance for like what that all is, you know what I mean, like boys situations.
Oh yeah,
like, you're just like chilling now. I feel like
it hasn't been like, okay, who's next? Like, who am I gonna crush on next? Like, who's out there? I'm gonna find you. No,
you're like not
feeling that. Yeah. So it feels like really good and like very liberating, honestly. And I just am feeling like very laser focused. Like I revisited the goals and the dreams and just like reorganized them again. Yeah, and just trying to laser focused. And I really don't. What? I literally am in my.
Are both of you guys on your follicular phase?
No, she's on her luteal. Luteal.
I don't know anything about the phases.
Luteal is like right before menstrual, so you're like having to rest and chill.
Follicular or ovulation.
I had my period twice in a month. Were you
How
here?
long since you ended your last period?
How long has it been?
Period talk.
Yeah, it was. It's been about. I had it blah, 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 like 10 or 12 days ago. Yeah.
Last
like right before
so
I left.
You're probably ovulating now.
Ovulating. She ready?
Yeah.
Ovulating.
Ooh.
What is?
We got it.
What does ovulation
fertile
entail?
as fuck. You
fertile as fuck.
We are not professionals.
You might want to. We'll need to talk later.
Yeah. We'll pick up on this
we'll
later.
Discuss this subject.
Yeah.
Later.
So do you final story and share? Did you have any realizations around like lineage, trauma, or just anything that has come up? Has anything come up around that this week of just like realizations around like, oh, that's definitely something that like my mom and dad struggle with, that has absolutely been like passed on to me that I'm now facing and having to try to combat and face?
So my dad being North Korean, his side of the family, I mean, just in general, Asians are very like stoic and cold, not really accepting. You know, most of them like want you to go to like medical school or become a lawyer. And a lot of feelings when I was in North Carolina of of like letting my dad down definitely came through a lot. And I think I have this weird relationship with money, definitely because of my dad, for sure. And just with him being a doctor and being North Korean, and I mean, he was born in America, so he's like very American, but my grandparents definitely, I mean, just that, my whole lineage, you know, is just, they have a lot of trauma just around what they've experienced.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of me letting my dad down, just from like getting fired from my last job, well, the last like few jobs. I haven't even told them, Dad, I hope you don't hear this.
They don't need to know. They don't need to know we're doing this.
But yeah, just feelings of letting people down and like not living up to like my fullest potential. We're definitely coming up, and I think it stems a lot just from with my relationship with my dad and
Maybe relationship with work.
Yeah, my relationship with work. Sorry.
Well, both.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
that's what I'm.
yeah.
That's. But it sounds, because I'm like just thinking of it in terms of like your dad, of just being like, okay, well, I need to work really hard and figure it out, and
I
make
feel,
a lot of money and try to.
The pressure that I put upon myself definitely comes a lot from that. For sure, my relationship with work is really weird because of that, and yeah, I definitely realized that, and I was like, wow, like that definitely needs some love and attention for sure. And just the need to be like, go, like go do this, money that.
Capricorn.
Yeah. And yeah, totally.
That's why I was just like, is it our astrology or is it our genetic? Like, is this our epigenetics? Like,
yeah, definitely my Capricorn in me for sure too.
Well, it seems like very conflicting, because like there is this one part of you that's just like, I don't have this attachment to money. Like, I don't have this like yearning to just like work and do have this like idea of what success means to my parents. But then you also have this like voice in your head that is like, no, that you need to work, like you need to figure something out, like you need to do this.
Yes, you're hitting it spot on, because I feel both of those ways all the time. I'm like, I need this like stability, but I also just like want to fly and be free. And this trip like showed me that I need something like really flexible, and I need to be able to experience the world and not be like stuck in this like box that we are formed into. Yeah, and the box came up a lot as well. Just like the box that like my parents like have projected onto me, the box that I've projected onto myself, and the box from society, just like all, so many things came through on that. And where was I going with that? Pause.
Lineage.
I don't know, lineage trauma.
Going somewhere good with that.
I mean, you've already been in good places, so
But
I mean,
just relationship with work, boxes.
I
don't know. But overall, I think that is a good realization. And just
Those
like,
are
I think
deep.
what you're talking about of just wanting to show your, like, so what is like your remedy for all of this, like these like conflicting feelings and stuff, like around your relationship with money, around your relationship with work, realizing that you don't want to fit in the box. So kind of like, what is the remedy for that? Or like, what is well, you said it, like find a flexible job, right?
Yeah, flexible job. But I also think I need, like this trip was so nurturing for my soul. So I think I need to do more solo trips like this for sure.
So you need
like
the finances to support that.
I need the finances for sure to support that. And like, again, the flexibility with travel and stuff. Like I need to be able to be free to like roam. And I think honestly the remedy is just taking like more alone time and quiet time. Like I deleted my social media. Like,
oh, you did?
Yeah, it's been gone now for 9 days. I haven't
Proud
touched
of you.
it. Yeah, it's honestly crazy. I feel like really
Free?
disconnected. Yeah, it's just the perfect way to describe how I've been feeling is free. For sure. Like I haven't been, because I mean, when you're like on social media, you're digesting. The box is so fucking present, and you're digesting so many things from the external world. And honestly, like not saying I'm like never gonna be on it again. I was planning on like downloading it this week. I did get really cute pictures that I want to share from my trip. You know how it goes. Got a cute little North Carolina photo dump. But
of course,
yeah, like
so
just
funny.
The duality.
Honestly, yeah. Like not really hearing from a lot of people when I was out there, and not like spending my free time scrolling and like literally walking barefoot.
When
like
you told
in
me
the
what you were
forest.
doing, spending your last day doing, I was like on Instagram when I saw your text, and I was like, great. Okay. I asked Michela if she's gonna spend her last day, and she's like, bathe in the river, like read the book by the river, like meditate, spend time with myself. And I'm like, and now that I know no social media was involved, like I wasn't really sure if you were on it or not.
Proud of you.
I can understand how that was.
Yeah, it was honestly
Incredible.
so liberating to like not have social media when I was there. I just felt I was able to tune in more to what I was feeling, and like not getting like any, like absolutely like anything external. It was just like very me the entire trip, like me. And I haven't ever done that. I mean, I did my yoga training in Costa Rica, but
Even then, were you like alone?
no, I
You were
was
constantly
with
people,
I was
right?
with like literally like 12, 15 girls like every single day. And even then when I was like traveling, like not technically alone, I was with like other girls from my training. So yeah, this was my first solo adventure.
Did you like hanging out with Michela?
Did I like hanging out with Michela? Yeah, I really got to know Michela.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think solo trips are definitely needed for me, like often. Like not like,
What do you think is like often? What is?
I mean, like every few months, I
Okay.
think. And it doesn't even need to be like a freaking 12-hour drive to North Carolina, because I will say
Right.
that was
7-day stretch.
that was like intense. But even just like, you know, like going to get like an Airbnb, like in like a different beach town, like kind of like
Springs or-
escaping like your
No.
Current reality.
Yeah, your like your home base. Yeah, just like escaping that for a little bit. And
Do you feel like you have learned now that you enjoy recharging solo versus whatever you did before to recharge? Like, do you feel like that is now just a new way that you've discovered that feels good to replenish your energy?
yeah.
It's like a detox.
Yeah.
Detox.
Because before, honestly, I was feeling just overwhelmed, like so much, just so much of that. And now I feel like although like the integration process of like being like coming from the woods, like back to like a city, obviously, like it's going to take a little bit to process. But I think like moving forward, I just know that, I need to like respect my solitude time. Yeah. And I'm like such a social person, and I love like going to the coffee shop with a friend and like doing this and that. And just doing things with people, like talking to you guys and stuff. But I think just every here and there, I just need to like go do my own thing.
You missed yourself.
Yeah, I honestly missed myself. Yeah, I really did.
So cute.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Missing yourself. Wow.
We missed you.
Yeah, I missed you guys too, but I'm back. I'm not leaving.
Yay. We were scared you're going to like want to run away.
Well, you know
I
what,
knew she
guys?
was gonna come
Honestly, like I didn't really like voice this to anyone, but like my first few days, well, when I got to the commune, I was like, oh fuck yeah,
The
like,
sanctuary.
the sanctuary,
It's not that
Mountain
cray.
Light Sanctuary. But
The commune. She's calling it a commune. I'm like,
Sounds like it's a pro.
But when I
place is
first
normal.
got there, I was like, wow. I was like, I'm moving out here. I was like completely taken away. I mean, just the land itself had like the energy there. It's the way I was talking to Kristen earlier on the phone, and it was like the veil there is just so much thinner. It's the perfect way. It's not completely gone. Like you're not in heaven
that's
or
such
anything.
a great way.
But the veil is so much thinner. Like I was just able to see, hear, feel so much deeper there. So when I first got there, I was like, wow, I'm moving here. I was like, this is beautiful. Like, I just fully like, I was like, so many thoughts were going through my head of like living in a space like that and like wanting to stay there. But then as the days went on, I mean, I was pooping in a bucket, man. I did leave and I left my bucket there with like a few days of shit in there. And someone who works at the sanctuary had to clean out that bucket. So I'm sorry. Oh my God. It was kind of fucked up. I was on my way home and I was talking to Danielle and I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Like
I asked her, I was like, what'd you do with your bucket?
But yeah, so where was I going with that? Just
how you wanted to like run away, but then days passed. You
days
kept
went on, and I was like, you know what? Like,
you're waking up in 50-degree weather.
Yeah, like I mean, I was
sharing a kitchen with like 10 other people.
Yeah, I do love my like own space like that. Like I do have that like introvert side who like just needs to be in like my own energy. That's the reason you got away
in the first place.
Yeah. And I was, I was like around like a lot of people there too. But I definitely,
when you wanted to be. Yeah. That's like the best part about the sanctuary is that you can be surrounded by people if you wanted to, but there's also a lot of space to just like retreat into all these different areas.
Yeah, exactly. But so after a few days I was like, I think I like having my own kitchen, my own bathroom, and I like AC. I like AC a lot. And I don't like sleeping out in the cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially alone.
Huh?
Especially alone.
Oh my God, it's spooky.
Yeah, it's a little spooky. How are the spiders and the bugs, dude? I'm surprised you didn't mention those at all. The spiders there are
the spiders
gnarly.
There were huge.
Scary.
I was in the shower and there was one that came out of like my bag when I was unpacking my toiletries, and I screamed bloody murder.
Are they thick ones?
Did I tell you guys?
Big?
What?
No, they're
like
mountain spiders, like thick, scary. Their bodies.
Is that what they're?
Honestly, I think they're probably like
they're
spiders.
really big. The bugs are fucking crazy.
The chills I just got.
I still like look at the chicken skin.
Wait, you guys know, it's funny. There was a girl that I met. She got there like on Wednesday or something, and she got there at night and she was checking in, and she was so freaked out by the bugs. You know what she did? She set up her tent on her bed and slept on like in the tent on her
Honestly,
bed.
I wish I would have brought a mosquito net to put over to put on my face. I slept underneath a sheet every night.
Why are the bugs so bad? I know there's no walls, but
your homie.
The forest is literally
it's
right
like
there.
open wooden cabins.
It's open wooden.
Spiders love corners. I mean, the lights for like flying things, but like spiders just like live where there are flying things, you know? So in every corner, crevice, like every single place, there are webs. It's hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah, the bugs there are freaking gnarly.
Yeah. If you sleep with the spiders, you're real.
I don't like spiders. I don't like cockroaches.
Yeah, because
I don't like
so
snakes.
sensitive to bugs.
I did see a gnarly ass snake when I was there. It was like 5 foot.
Oh shit!
It was
what color
big.
Was it?
On a
black.
hike?
It was black.
On a hike?
No, it was at the sanctuary. Yeah, but apparently I heard someone talking about them, and they're like
probably like a corn snake.
Yeah, they chill out like in the garden and mind their business. Like they're scared of us. Like they won't bite you unless like you step on them. And even then, they said that their teeth are so tiny that it won't even hurt.
Well, that's good.
Those snakes are harmless.
Yeah, and honestly, like my experience with the spiders and the bugs there, like now, because I just have like some spiders that like hang out in my bathroom, I let them be, and then by the next day they're gone. So I'm like, interesting. I guess you're just like checking out different areas of like my bathroom, like the house, and just like catch your bugs, and then just like peace out. So like I'm not gonna kill you anymore. You will coexist. Yeah.
Our house is cool with the bugs.
We honestly we don't have a lot.
It hasn't as bad as I thought. I don't even think there's been one roach.
It was dead.
No, guys, there was one that I like.
Where was that? In
the yoga room.
Really?
But it was months ago, like the very beginning.
Did you leave it in there dead?
No, I
There's
grabbed
a different
it.
one, okay.
No, but there's definitely been some dead ones. Okay.
Okay, well that's not bad.
No,
Could be
no.
so
It could be
much
so much
worse.
worse.
We're in
Especially
St.
with how
Pete.
much it's been raining too here.
I know.
I would
like,
think
with
like
how
more
hot it
bugs would be
is.
coming in.
Yeah. You're right.
But
Let's
we
knock on
love
wood.
our house. We're so grateful
We
for
love
her.
our house. Shout out to the 434.
Our house is so cozy.
just like us.
Yeah. Oh.
Our headphones are so big.
Wait,
we
you
need to
guys-
work on that.
You guys are making me want to get headphones like that.
I kind of
Really? I kind of
those
vibe with
are
those.
a vibe.
We're gonna see
You
how
always
We
want
can
what
swap.
you
We
don't
can
have.
swap.
Yeah,
We,
right?
we can swap them.
We're gonna switch it around.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that was a really beautiful conversation. And I'm honestly really excited to listen back to it and let everybody else hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll
you.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Much love.
Mushroomies.